I'm going to turn it over to my partner here, Inge, and she'll talk a little bit more about the things behind what this program is intended to assist the grower with.
This is the user manual that we put together to support the program. This table of contents will guide you what part of the 600+ page manual will be useful to you. Certainly the first 30 pages are overview that everybody, I hope, would read, as well as the program guide that Jim showed live on tab 2. But as you can see in the evaluation examples, each one of the types of systems, so there's drip micro PC one direction, drip micro PC two directions. That means that the hoses are feeding two directions from the lateral. And so the directions are a little bit different on how to gather the data, just because statistically it needs to be a little bit different. And then there's drip micro non-PC one direction and two direction. Non-PC also takes into account the pressure variation of the, unlike the PC that really did not. PC was only looking at flow variation. The non-PC is a little more complicated of evaluations because it's gathering data on the pressures as well as the flows of the system. And so there are detailed almost 40 or 50 pages of documentation for each of these different types of systems on how to gather the data, screen captures of the reports, and a short client presentation, an example dialogue of how you would present this to the grower if you need some guidance. So 4 types of drip micro. There's 5 different types of tape systems that we document. PC one direction, PC two, tape non-PC flow controlled in between type of emission device one direction, and then tape non-PC one and two direction. And then finally, as we just were talking about, there's sprinkler PC one direction, sprinkler PC two direction, sprinkler non-PC one direction, sprinkler non-PC two direction. So that's the type of sprinklers, the bigger sprinklers that are not the micro sprinklers that are found within the drip micro area. So each one of these examples is documented. Here we have the instructions on how to estimate the potential yield increase. That's a grower input. If I were to increase my DU by 1%, what do you think your yield increase could be? That's the way you ask the grower. And they'll say, oh, maybe 0.5%, 0.5% for every yield percentage increase. So if you were to improve to 90 from a 0.75, that's a 7.5% yield increase. So that drives the economic tab of this program. Here's the example that Jim just presented. And I'm going to quickly scroll through the 40 pages that show all the screen captures and detailed information about how to conduct this evaluation. So that's about the first half of it. Jim did a great job of walking you through that. So this is just screen captures to guide somebody who hasn't had the benefit of Jim walking them through it. It's a readable walkthrough. I also want to mention that tab number 9, the pump improvements tab, is totally icing on the cake. It really has nothing to do with the DU, but it has a lot to do with the economics potential of the system. It is just, hey, is your pump operating properly? And if not, there's a lot of money to be saved there too. Then 10 is really, what are the economic impacts of the DU being improved in terms of crop yield and then water, energy, and fertilizer expenses. Once you get to the end of that, the program will offer a script of how you could present that to the client. If you're not familiar, use it or not. And then if there's an aggregated report for that particular client, it shows that, hey, this system should be a higher priority because there's a lot more money at stake than this other system. And there's a screen capture of each page of the reports that are available that should be printed off and presented to the grower. The first 3 pages are the summary report that Jim showed. And then there's the 2-page DU report. And then there's grower question and observations report, which is usually 2, if not 3 pages long, depending on how much information is gathered. And then the equipment component performance evaluation report, also very important. And then the pump improvements 1-pager and the systems improvement report 1-pager. and then the aggregated reports. And then we start all over again. Here's PC 2-direction. Same thing, another 40 pages detailed for that particular type of system. And then we go to the next type, which would be a non-PC. So that is available to you. If you're having any issues with downloading the program, there's a PowerPoint available to help you get through the Windows 11 screen captures. But there are efforts underway to make this an app that would not require downloading. So we're hoping that happens soon as well. So with that, I'm going to stop. There's a lot more that we could talk about, but I'm going to open it up for questions.